So natural behavior is what we want. But somewhere along the way, we end up result acting instead, which is the opposite of natural. Result acting happens when we try to control the performance too much and when we don't understand how complex real behavior is. In real life, we're always thinking about stuff like what we want and how we're going to get it and how to get around what's in our way. Our behavior is colored through how we see other people and how we see ourselves. We're always trying to figure out what other people's motives are and what will happen next. We're always putting out a face that's different from how we really feel, plus a million other things. And out of all that comes your behavior. It's natural and complex because it's the result of all these processes inside of you. Result acting is skipping that whole inner process and just going straight for the end result, which is to make it angry or sad, which results in the mask of angry or sad instead of real behavior. And funny story, back in the days, people believed that acting was just doing results. So here's longing. And here's fear. And despair, that's a classic. And if you could do all 500 faces, then you were a good actor. In modern acting, this is called indicating. It's showing the emotion without having the thought process that would lead to it. So why do actors result act? Well, an obvious reason is simply that their director keeps telling them to do results. Because it seems logical. If you can tell the cinematographer to make it more yellow, why can't you tell the actor to make it more angry? But a large part of acting is literally recreating the whole machinery of your thought process and then just letting it roll. It's like a computer simulation. You can't really ever control the output. You can just change the input and hope for the best. The only way to control the output is to bypass the inner process and just force the end result. But then we get the mechanical version of the behavior. So the conventional wisdom is that result directing is bad and actually kind of taboo.
So in this part, you're feeling really awkward with him, right? Like you're really attracted to him, but you're also really timid. And then underlying that is just the general excitement of the situation. So try and keep that like excited shyness.
So thank God that's a joke. In this chapter and the next, we'll look at some examples of pretty bad result directing. But it's important to be aware that result directing has an important positive side that we'll come back to on the next volume. The first kind of result directing is telling people how to feel. And let's have Pete say it directly into the camera, and then you tell me if you know what to do with this.
Okay, so in this part you're feeling really awkward with him, right? But you're also really attracted to him. And then underlying all that is the whole excitement of the situation. So just really hold on to that excited shyness, okay?
So besides the director being the only person in the world who knows what excited shyness is, the main problem is that you can't do a feeling.
Okay, so at this part you're starting to feel okay again, but then you read that letter and it just devastates you, just hits you. And you're feeling totally alone and abandoned. I just want to see that sadness in your eyes.
The problem is that feelings are mostly internal. You can't tell right now that she's angry. Because how would you know? If we ask her to make it more angry, what can she do besides an angry mouth and a cartoon frown? There's a misunderstanding that if only you can get the actor to feel the right thing, it'll produce a certain behavior. But feelings don't produce that much behavior on their own. Their effect is more subtle. Just getting into the right state is not enough to have any particular behavior. You're just kind of standing there feeling, all dressed up and nowhere to go. Feelings become visible when you put them into something that you do. Here Jennifer is playing the mean acting coach, so probably the character is bitter and frustrated about her career. She then puts that feeling into belittling him and showing him that he's a nobody.
Would you stay seated if somebody fired you?
Oh, I guess not.
Would that not like ignite something inside of you? Would that not piss you off?
Should I sit up and kick the chair
I think
back?
you should do actually what a human being would do. So react. Go again.
So the feeling becomes the fuel. It's what motivates her. You can feel it behind what she's doing. It gives it color. But we're not parading the bitterness. It's a misunderstanding that the goal is to show feelings, and this is a trap that both actors and directors walk into. Here Jennifer is hiding that she's creeped out by David.
Listen, if it's not too forward, if you're free tonight, you want to go somewhere?
I don't know. I kind of have to be somewhere. Or something bad might happen.
Real people are almost never trying to show their feelings. They're trying to hide them, which ironically creates more behavior and does a better job at showing a feeling than thrusting it out there does. Actors will always try to show feelings even if you didn't ask for it because they want to do good work and get hired again. So you have to make a conscious effort to keep actors out of the obligation to show feelings. So there's no obligation to make anything happen. We'll just see where it goes, and maybe it goes to a place that we haven't explored.
Okay.
I mean, because it felt like we're sort of finding a format in the rehearsals. I mean, maybe it needs to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The reason that you can't do a feeling is that just deciding to have a feeling exaggerates it. Here I've asked her to be puzzled, but just the awareness of it makes it oddly deliberate.
I don't know. I kind of have to be somewhere or something bad might happen.